Hi, my name is Greg with Smith Brothers Pushrods. This video I'm going to explain how to install our twin cam 7/16 095 wall tapered fast install kit. This is a 2003 Road King, and when you receive your kit, it's going to come in a box like this. It's a white box. Your 4 push rods. You have an exhaust on either side, intakes in the center. This is our pushrod cover retention tool, a small bottle of Loctite that you may or may not want to use, your choice. You're going to need two 7/16 wrenches and one 3/8 wrench. If you have a thin 7/16, suggest using a thin wrench as well as with the 3/8. A screwdriver, the factory original pushrod cover, the O-ring's been removed, and the tool that I'm going to use to show you how to use it. Okay, once you receive your kit, you're going to take, in this instance, I'm going to install the front exhaust. Normally I would do the front intake or one of the intakes first, but I'm just going to do the front exhaust because it'll show up better. You take your pushrod out of the box. It's marked exhaust. And it doesn't matter front or rear, the two exhausts are the same length, the two intakes are the same length. So take and unscrew the base off of the screw. You can go ahead and set the base right down in the lifter block. The lifter, I've already adjusted the lifter to where it's on the lowest point of the cam. So, and then adjust your screw out so you have close to a 1/4 inch, 3/16 1/4 inch of thread exposed. And then run your top jam nut down against the tube, just finger tight. Move your bottom one coming up out of the way. You're going to have enough threads to get this started. Then you take your pushrod cover. This is a factory pushrod cover, OE pushrod cover. And I've taken the bottom O-ring, I've taken it out of the lifter block and put it over the lip of the lower tube. So it's out of the way and you don't forget to put it in, because then you're going to have to start over. So that's on there, the inner tube's in, the spring assembly is all on this. So you take your push rod, you slide it up through the push rod cover, and then you stick it up in the hole, slide the cover up into it, take the push rod and feel for it sitting into the rocker arm. You'll feel it go into the seat, then slide it over to the base and let it drop down in. And at this point, you can either try to engage the threads and start the thread on the base, or you can install the cover tool. I'm going to go ahead and start the base, and I'm screwing it onto the screw now, just to hold it true and get it up there, get it started. And once I get it started, then I'll just let it drop down, and then I'm going to put the install the pushrod cover tool. It makes it easier. So when you get this tool, if you look on the outside, it'll be marked because they're not exactly the same top and bottom. The curvature is bigger, or it goes further around on the bottom. So it'll say on it, this one says top, it says bottom on down here. So you just take this, you lift your pushrod cover up, you set the bottom down on the inside lip where the O-ring would sit on the lifter block. Then you're going to take a flat screwdriver, and if you're worried about not being careful and scratching your paint on your fins or something, you can put masking tape over the flat of the screwdriver. I've done this enough times that I don't need to do that. So take and make sure your upper tube is in the O-ring in the head, and I've got the pushrod cover kind of holding by my left hand. I'm going to stick the screwdriver in and capture a fin and start pulling it up and holding it steady with my left hand. Now I can let go, and I can make sure the cover, the tool is in the proper place on the lifter block, and it'll kind of snap on the tube. then let the screwdriver down. Now it's captured. And just holding this up. Now rotate this tool, the cover tool, so that the metal band is at the back and it's out of your way. That leaves you totally exposed to do your pushrod adjustments. Now I'm going to begin the seesaw of putting the base, getting the screw turned down into the base. So now I've got the base installed. The bottom jam nut is locked in place. I'm going to break the top jam nut loose so I can finish taking the play out of the pushrod, the rocker lifter assembly, and then we can start with the dialing in the preload. So the jam nut is loose. I'll back it off a little bit. I'll hold the tube with the wrench on the 3/8 flats, and it's easier to turn the base now than the tube, and just be unscrewing the base, the screw out of so now the play is gone. So at this point, you can either count, and if you want to, you can put a mark with a black marker or a Sharpie or something on one of the flats to help you keep track. But I just adjust, I turn the base, I put the 3/8 wrench on the tube, get the wrench situated to where it's kind of out of my way since I'm right-handed. I hold it with my left hand. I take my 7/16 wrench on the base, and I start counting my flats. So I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's one full turn. So we want to go, this is a 5/16 32 pitch adjuster, so one full turn gives you 31.25 thousandths of travel of compression. So if you want to go 100 thousandths preload is like 19 flats. So we've done 6. So I would have to go 13 more. If you need closer to 120, 125, you're going to go 24 flats. So we're going to go, there's 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. So there's our 100 thousandths preload. At this point, I will take the upper jam nut that goes against the tube and run it up with my fingers, still holding the tube with my 3/8 wrench. I'll get my 7/16 on that jam nut. Run that jam nut tight. Snug it up. Just like that. That's as tight as it needs to be. That one's adjusted. So now At this point, you can either take the tool out, put your O-ring down on the tube. You don't want to install this tube yet. You want to wait until this lifter bleeds down and you can spin this with your fingers. Then you know it's safe to rotate the engine over, so then you can put the cover on. But since I don't have the intake one that's be behind this, I'm going to be taking this back out. But you take the tool out just by pivot it around to the side again where you had it when you put it in. Take a screwdriver in on your fin, lift up on the cover, hold it with your finger, your index finger, pop the cover out, drop the tube down, put your O-ring over the lip, back down below the lip, don't drop it in the hole, pop it down on your top tube, up, get it up in the head, take your clip, use your clip, your top clip, to catch the lip of the top tube and feel, kind of wiggle it so you know it's centered on the O-ring. Take and pry your spring assembly down. Make sure this is sitting against the lip. Pivot that in place, and that's that. Then you can go ahead and rotate and do the other 3 holes the same way. Just make sure you get the lifter on the heel of the cam. Easiest way to do that is with the bike up on a stand, the spark plug's out, your transmission in a high gear like 4th gear, 5th gear, rotate the rear wheel. You can either do it through the spark plug hole, look for top dead center of the piston, or I just take and stick a push rod or the base of a push rod down in the lifter block and watch it to go down. If you want to make sure you're exact, you can watch for the exhaust side to go, the lifter to go all the way down to the base circle, but you're going to want to do the intake first, then the exhaust, no matter what cylinder, which will be self-evident because they sit behind. I've never tried to do one the other way around. I suppose it's possible, but I would definitely do the intake, then the exhaust on either cylinder. All right, thank you for watching.